The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, wanted to talk about because I didn't make any videos about this fight leading up to it, and I didn't make a post-fight review video about it. But Dillian Whyte versus Jermaine Franklin, it was a fight I really didn't care about because I didn't really think the most of Jermaine Franklin because I had seen him fight once and I was like, he's whatever. They picked him for a reason. You know, Dillian Whyte should go in there and do the business against him. But much to my surprise, Jermaine Franklin went in there, and I didn't watch the full fight in its entirety, but I watched the highlights on the Zone, which they give you all the main moments of the fight round by round. And from what I could see, it looked like it was a close fight, and it looks like there was a legitimate argument to be made that Jermaine Franklin beat Dillian Whyte. Like, it was that close of a fight. I thought from what I saw, Jermaine Franklin boxed very patiently behind a nice educated jab. He was working that stick to the body, to the head, and Whyte couldn't really defend the jab. Dillian Whyte looked lethargic. He looked slow, and quite frankly, and truth be told, Dillian Whyte looked like his best days are behind him. Them days of Dillian Whyte being looked at as a top 5 caliber heavyweight, them days is over. Them days are over. They've been over, but now they're really, really over because, you have been in this division for a long time. You've been knocked out against Povetkin. You came back, you knocked him out. Had a hard fight with Chisora. Damn near lost. He should have lost to him the first time. Dillian Whyte's been tested. He's grown, he's peaked, but now I think he's on the come down, and I think this fight is a great example of that. And honestly, I could sit here and I could talk shit about Dillian Whyte till I'm blue in the face, because they picked Jermaine Franklin for a reason. This is supposed to be a tune-up fight, and he got tuned up by Jermaine Franklin. So I really walk away from the fight unimpressed with Whyte and kind of like, okay, Whyte can go, fight Daniel Dubois, take his beating like a man, because that was a fight that was talked about for a little bit. I think that's a fight that they should make. Daniel Dubois versus Dillian Whyte. He can get sparked up by my boy Daniel Dubois, and then, call it quits, because he's not going to beat none of these top guys. He's not beating Dubois. He's not beating Joyce. He's not beating Herkovich. He's not beating a lot of guys in the heavyweight division. I don't think he would beat Zhang if they fought. There's just so many guys I think he would get whooped by. So I leave unimpressed with him, but I leave so impressed with Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin's a guy that relatively, even for someone like me, I know who he is because I seen him fight, I think, on the Claressa Shields versus Christina Hammer undercard. I think he fought on there a couple years ago. I saw him fight, he's all right, whatever type of heavyweight. But it goes to show you, man, a lot of these guys that don't have names, they can really fight. It's just boxing right now is in such bad condition as far as the way it's ran, the business of boxing. Because look, any legitimate businessman will look at boxing and say this shit ain't being ran like a legitimate business. Because if it was ran like a legitimate business, then they would do what's best for the customer. They say that the customer is always right in any good, successful Fortune 500 business company. But that's not the case of boxing. Because of that, boxing really isn't ran like a business, but they tell you it's ran like a business. And guys like Jermaine Franklin and a lot of fighters, they don't even get fight dates. They fight once a year, if we're lucky, maybe 2 times. And because of that, there's a big problem in boxing these days with fighter development. And Jermaine Franklin hasn't fought in a long time. And I know he's coming off a layoff, and he fought that well against Dillian Whyte, and he really hadn't fought in a while. So could you imagine if he would have fought Dillian Whyte and he had a more legitimate camp and he was active and it was match fit? He probably would have he probably would have won 17. Maybe he would have freaking knocked him out or hurt him. He fought a really good fight. One thing about Jermaine Franklin that I saw from what I watched is he definitely showed that he belongs to fight amongst the top 20 heavyweights, top 15 caliber heavyweights, because if you can go in there, you can give Dillian Whyte a hard time, and in many people's eyes, beat him and outbox him, and he did a great job working that stick upstairs, downstairs, feinting. Just did a great job. Fought a really brilliant, beautiful tactical fight. So much credit to him and his trainer who came with a great game plan. But this is why unfortunately, a lot of American fighters are always reluctant to fight in the UK because you go in there and you fight a really great fight like Jermaine Franklin did against Dillian Whyte, and you don't get rewarded for your efforts. And it's just a really, really sad state of affairs for a guy like him who, let's face it, he's always going to be, in most cases, the B-side. This is supposed to be his chance to have his moment in the sun. And yeah, he didn't knock him out, but why does he got to knock him out? He won the damn fight. He fought the better fight. He displayed superiority over his opponent. That should be more than enough for a win. So Dillian Whyte, as my boy Rick Laser would say, he's on the back nine and he's on his way to the clubhouse because his best days are definitely behind him. So I think Eddie Hearn should either A, speed it up and make that AJ rematch so he can lose to AJ and then they can build AJ up for a big fight, or they should feed him to Daniel Dubois so Dubois can knock him out, and then Dubois can have a bigger name, and then Dubois can go fight AJ or something like that. But either way, he's not being no top heavyweights in the heavyweight division. Those days have long been gone. And listen, I know the Deontay Wilder fight was a fight that was discussed some years back, and I always thought that would have been a great fight a couple years ago. If they were to make that fight right now, Deontay Wilder would knock him into the eighth dimension. All right, he would knock his head clean off his head into the upper deck of whatever stadium they fight in. So don't fight him. Don't try to make that fight happen now if you're Eddie Hearn. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Jermaine Franklin versus Dillian Whyte. I would like to see Jermaine Franklin. If he can't get the Whyte fight, I would like to see next to Jermaine Franklin. I want to see Jermaine Franklin against Otto Wallin. I think that'd be a good fight. Otto Wallin can't get fights. Jermaine Franklin can't get fights. They both have proven that they belong in the heavyweight division against top competition. Make that fight happen. Otto Wallin versus Jermaine Franklin. I think it'd be a good scrap and it'd be a good step in the right direction for both men. So yeah, make that one happen. But yeah, shout out to him who fought a great fight. He's got nothing to hang his head about. At all. Yeah. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.